The Red Palace. In the heart of Morocco's vast desert stood the Qasr al-Ahmar, or the Red Palace. It was an imposing structure of crimson stone, towering above the dunes like a monolith. Built centuries ago by a paranoid sultan, the palace was said to be cursed, a place where shadows moved on their own, whispers echoed in the silence, and no one who entered ever came out the same. The origin of the curse. Legend had it that the sultan had sealed a dark pact with a jinn to protect his reign. In return, the jinn demanded eternal dominion over the palace once the sultan died. The sultan agreed, but his greed led him to attempt to outsmart the jinn by binding it in a hidden chamber deep within the palace. Furious, the jinn cursed the palace, ensuring that its walls would forever echo with suffering. When the sultan died mysteriously, his successors abandoned the palace. Over time, the desert swallowed parts of it, but its sinister reputation remained. Villagers in the nearby oasis told tales of strange lights in its windows and the wails of the damned carried on the wind. The explorer's descent. Despite the warnings, a group of urban explorers, Amir, Sarah, Nadia, and their leader Tariq, set out to uncover the secrets of the Red Palace. Armed with flashlights and cameras, they believed the stories were mere folklore, an exaggerated tale to keep treasure hunters away. As they approached the palace at dusk, the crimson walls seemed to glow unnaturally in the fading light. The grand, arched entrance was open, as if inviting them in. The air grew colder with each step, and a strange, metallic smell lingered. Inside, the grandeur of the palace was overwhelming, towering columns, intricate carvings, and long-abandoned fountains. But it was also suffocatingly dark, with shadows that seemed to writhe and stretch unnaturally. "It's just the wind," Tariq assured them when they heard faint whispers. But deep down, even he felt uneasy. The first encounter. As they ventured deeper, strange things began to happen. Nadia felt something brush against her arm, though no one was near her. Amir swore he saw a figure darting between the columns. Sarah's flashlight flickered and died, leaving her in complete darkness for several agonizing seconds. "Let's stick together," Tariq said, his voice faltering. In the grand hall, they found a massive mirror, its surface dark and rippling like liquid. Drawn to it, Sarah stepped closer, mesmerized. "It's moving," she whispered. Suddenly, her reflection smiled, a malevolent grin that didn't match her expression. She screamed, stumbling back, but the reflection remained, its eyes glowing red. The group pulled her away, but the air grew heavier, as if the palace itself was alive and angry. The hidden chamber. Determined to find the source of the curse, Tariq led them to the lower levels, where the Sultan's hidden chamber was said to be. The staircase spiraled down endlessly, the walls narrowing until they were forced to move single file. The whispers grew louder, now distinct voices calling their names. "Come closer, stay forever." At the bottom, they found a massive door etched with symbols that seemed to writhe under their gaze. Nadia, unable to resist, reached out to touch it. The moment her fingers brushed the door, it flew open with a deafening roar, revealing a cavernous chamber filled with a red, pulsating light. At its center stood the jinn, its form a mass of shadows and fire, its eyes burning with ancient rage. "You dare disturb my prison?" it boomed, its voice shaking the very walls. The escape. Panic set in as the jinn advanced. The explorers fled, but the palace seemed to shift and change, leading them in circles. Hallways stretched endlessly, doors slammed shut on their own, and the whispers turned into blood-curdling screams. One by one, the group was separated. Nadia vanished into the darkness, her screams echoing for only a moment before silence fell. Amir tried to follow the sound but was swallowed by a shadow that moved like a living entity. Only Tariq and Sarah remained. As they ran, they stumbled into the grand hall again, the mirror now glowing with a sinister light. The jinn's voice echoed, "You will never leave." Desperate, Tariq smashed the mirror with a broken pillar. The shattering glass released a deafening wail, and the palace began to crumble. Shadows writhed and shrieked as the jinn was pulled back into the void. Tariq and Sarah sprinted out just as the entrance collapsed behind them. They fell to the sand, gasping for air, the palace now silent. The aftermath. The villagers found Tariq and Sarah the next morning, dazed and trembling. They refused to speak of what they had seen, but their haunted eyes told the story. The Red Palace still stands, though it is now buried deeper in the sands. Travelers who venture too close swear they hear whispers and see flickering lights. The jinn may be trapped, but its curse lingers, waiting for the next foolish souls to disturb its rest. And so, the legend of the Red Palace grows, a tale of greed, betrayal, and the horrors that lie within the shadows of forgotten places.